Greg, it seems like every day you're out here making catch after catch. Does it feel kind of rewarding to have a camp like this after missing most of the year last year?
Yeah, I mean, last year obviously was a tough year, kind of a year I'm not accustomed to, but I still really enjoy doing this. I really enjoy coming out each day and practicing and getting better. Even as I've gotten older, I still really enjoy competing. I still enjoy trying to find ways to get better, and this camp's been fun. It's been fun. It's been kind of fun for me to learn a new offense, learn to do things a little different than maybe I had gotten used to doing in the past, and that's kind of been energizing a little bit, to just be challenged to do something different. The way I want to run a route versus the way Norv wants to run a route, he wins the tie, so I got to do it his way. So it's been fun. I've really enjoyed this camp.
Greg, what you surprised at all about Kelvin going in on camp?
A little bit. You guys know how I feel, obviously, about Cam. I've been very clear about that for a long time. I think if you ask the guys on this team, the guys that have played with him, it'd be hard-pressed to find anybody to say anything bad about him. And obviously, I'd be at the top of that list. I've told him a lot. He's been the best thing that's ever happened to my career. Coming here, this has been the best 8 years of my career, and obviously he's a big part of that. So as far as other people's experiences, it's hard to speak on how they feel, but I know my 8 years with him and countless other guys that have played with him have benefited from playing with him. And past that, it's kind of hard to speculate on how other people view it.
Where do you think that came from?
I don't know. It was kind of weird. I think we all kind of felt the same way, but we all wish Kelvin the best. Obviously, things change, but but again, we've talked at length about how guys around here feel about Cam, and obviously you don't like people going after your quarterback, but I think Cam knows how the guys here feel about him, and I would imagine that's what he holds the most credence to. So,
Greg, how did guys feel when Kelvin was here about? We of course all read and heard about his weight issues. What did you think about him as a teammate?
Kelvin was fine. Kelvin was a good teammate. I think for the most part, everybody has their things. And not one guy is immune to it. Not one guy is the only one. The NFL is, at this time of year, there's 90 guys on a roster. All 90 of those guys have a story. All 90 of those guys have struggles, personally, football-wise. That's not unique. We enjoyed Kelvin for the most part. He was a good person to have around. Things didn't work out here for him. I know it. I get it. I know what that's like. But you'd like to see him just kind of move forward to his new team and embrace his new opportunity, rather than kind of go personal on it. But I get it. I've been shipped off from another team too, so I get it. But at the same point, I always knew there was more I probably could have done at that point in my career, and tried to make those improvements now the last 8 years to do what I thought I was capable of.
Do you think Cam hurt his progression early in his career at all?
I can't imagine that. I mean, he was the MVP, wasn't he? No, but just in general, I mean, you play with an MVP quarterback. There's like 4 of them and 5 of them in the league right now, right? So I don't know. Everybody feels how they feel. Obviously, how I feel and how we feel about Cam. And I think right now it's really all that matters. I mean, you could probably find a lot of people throughout the league that have opinions about me, you, Cam, the Panthers, our organization. People have opinions. That's just the world of today. And a lot of people's opinions are formed when they don't really want to accept things themselves.
How did Cam seem to handle it out there? I mean, I guess he's talked to you guys about it, or y'all, how did that one come out?
I think he was fine today. I think he was himself. I don't really think it had much of an impact.
Greg, when you're at Canton like you were yesterday, and you're there with Peppers, and you're playing with guys like Cam and Luke and yourself, I mean, could you start envisioning the core of this team and kind of the chances, obviously Peppers, but beyond him even?
Yeah, obviously Pep is kind of at the top of that list, all things considered, but it was a really cool experience. I don't know if I imagined it being that incredible until I got there and kind of the process, the event started. I was excited all along to go there and support Brian. He's had as big an impact as anybody in my career. Being around him as a young player was awesome for my development, and I've tried to kind of pay that forward like he did to me. But then being there and just listening to all the speeches, being around all those great players, just seeing what it meant to the guys who had been inducted, it's just, I think it's really important for guys to just see how much this game means to a lot of people, how many people's lives have been changed because of this game in a positive way, and to sit in the audience and hear guys kind of just remind you after all these years just how much this game means. It kind of refreshes you a little bit and gives you good perspective. As far as guys on our team, yeah, I mean, those guys you named, you'd think they all got a shot, but hopefully that's a long way from now.
Can you elaborate a little bit? You said Cam really had a big impact on your career. When did you first realize what that impact was and exactly what the experience was?
Yeah, I mean, I guess very few people, we had the greatest 3-year stretch of any quarterback tight end in NFL history. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. There hasn't been many guys. You take last year, kind of a random thing, missing those games. You take that out, the reality is there hasn't been a more productive duo than the two of us at our positions. And he's a big reason for that. And I am not afraid to admit that and understand that I've been fortunate to play with him, play a lot of reps together with the same quarterback. That was not something I had experienced until I got here. In my 4 years in Chicago, we had 4 quarterbacks. I've been 8 years here and played every game but maybe 2 with Cam. That's huge for anybody. So I've been the first to tell him that. I'm the first to admit that. He's been great for my career. I've benefited from being his teammate, and I'm going to try to take advantage of it as long as I can. As long as they'll have me, I guess.
Greg, what are you looking forward to most about playing on Thursday night?
Playing and then getting out, I guess, would be the most anticipated part of it. But it's really been a fun camp. I have to admit, this is probably as fun a camp and as best I've felt, and I don't know. I've really enjoyed this camp for whatever reason, and just to then get into the preseason games and kind of get out of the monotony of just practicing against one another all the time is kind of a welcomed sight. So it'd be nice. This is a very good defense for however long the ones are in. It's a huge challenge. These guys are really good. They gave us all we could handle last year in week 2. It's a lot of the same guys. So we know McDermott. We know what they want to do on defense, and they have some good players. So it'll be fun.